and give me the desire to serve Lord Krishna.
Kandiya Narasimha Padmati Pokha Kana Nirapade Navadvipe Jugala Bhajana Bhaya Bhaya Bhayandra Darshane Se Hari Prasana Ho Vibhakate Muridoya Kori Bhaya Bhaya Bhayandra Darshane Se Hari Prasana Ho Vibhakate Muridoya Kori. Weeping, I will beg at the lotus feet of Lord Narasimha for the benediction of worshipping Radha and Krishna in Navadvip, perfectly safe and free from all difficulties. When will this Lord Hari, whose terrible form strikes fear into fear itself, ever become pleased and show me his mercy?
Yadyapi bhishana murti dushta jiva prati Prahalada Krishna bhakt jane bhadra ati Kabiva prasanna hoy sakripa vachane Nirbhaya karibe mura kichane Kabiva prasanna hoy sakripa vachane Nirbhaya karibe mura kichane. Even though Lord Narasimha is terrifying toward the sinful souls, he offers great auspiciousness unto the devotees of Lord Krishna, headed by Prahlad Maharaj. When will he be pleased to speak words of compassion unto me, a worthless fool, and thereby make me fearless?
स्वच्छन्दे बसहे वत्स श्री गौरांग धामे जुगल भजन हौ रति हौ नामे मम भक्त कृपा बले विघ्न जाबे दूरा सुख चित्ते भजो राधा कृष्ण दास पूरा मम भक्त कृपा बले विघ्न जाबे दूरा चित्ते भजो राधा Krishna rasa pura. He will say, Dear child, sit down freely and live happily here in Sri Gauranga Dham. May you nicely worship the divine couple, and may you develop loving attachment for their holy names. By the mercy of my devotees all obstacles are cast far away. With a purified heart, just perform the worship of Radha and Krishna, for such worship overflows with sweet nectar.
ए बोले कवि मोरा मस्तक पारा सुय श्री चरण हर्षे दरिबेश्वरा अमनि जुगला प्रेमी सत्विका विकारी दरयालु टिबो आमी श्री नरसिंह द्वारे अमनि जुगला प्रेमी सत्विका विकारी दरयालु टिबो आमी श्री नरसिंह द्वारे दरयालु टिबो आमी श्री नरसिंह द्वारे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Saying this, will that Lord delightfully place his own divine lotus feet upon my head? I will experience sublime love for the divine couple Radha Krishna and undergo the ecstatic transformations called Satvika. Falling on the ground, I will roll about at the door of Sri Narasimha's temple.
Haribol, thank you so much. I hope all of you enjoyed this beautiful bhajan that was sung by none other than Nilambar Gaur Kalyani. Aditi, Lokangshu, Gauri, and Keshav. So please, I know we all can clap and it'll become will become quite disruptive. So please bless them all with your choicest blessings so that they will continue in this path. And also a big thanks to their parents. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumare Achrit Prashna. So without the parents, therefore this wouldn't have happened. So big thanks to all the parents. Thank you so much. Next, now that we have glorified him, let's hear about some of his pastimes from devotees who have personally experienced that. These pastimes have been shared by devotees in relation to their experience with none other than Mayapur's Lord Sri Nrsingadev. On to Sandhi, Aniruddha, and Sandini.
Hare Krishna. Our first pastime is I Want My Eyes Back. On a warm December morning last year, around 11 o'clock a.m., as I sought the association of the magnificent Lord and prayed to his dearmost devotee, Prahlada, I found myself involved in one of his temple leelas, pastimes. Much to my astonishment, after offering my obeisances to the captivating Prahlada, who stands next to his beloved Lord with his hands folded and his small body decorated with fresh flowers and beautiful ornaments, I prayed, My dear Prahlad, you are expert in receiving all kinds of blessings from Lord Narasimhadev. You even received the blessings of forgiveness for your demoniac father, Hiranyakashipu. Please ask you, Lord, to bless this poor soul with the destruction of everything that stands in the way of her devotional service. Show me the way to real happiness. Then, as I stood meditating on the Lord's beauty and mercy, I heard a very sweet, deep voice. I want my eyes back. At first, I ignored it and kept my mind in the mode of prayer. But the voice spoke a second time. I want my eyes back. Attempting again to disregard this clear message raised a burning and almost a painful sensation in my heart. I was dumbfounded. What was I to do? Then the voice continued, Go to the pujari. Okay, I thought, I have nothing to lose. If the pujaris think I'm crazy, I will at most lose a bit of my false ego. Praying to the Lord to give me the strength to carry out his order, I paid my obeisances and almost breathlessly headed for the pujari rooms. There I found Janani Vasprabhu reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. The atmosphere in the room was extremely serene and otherworldly. I stood there for several minutes and waited for him to notice me. Then, after I told him what happened, he asked me to go see his twin brother, Pankajangri Prabhu, the actual pujari of Lord Narasimhadev. Somehow I felt that I didn't have to do more at this point. The following day, as I approached the magnificent form of Lord Narasimhadev, my mind buzzed with doubt. What if that voice was just my mind, demanding the healing of my eyesight, which has been very poor and painful for the past 6 weeks? Thinking in this way, I prayed for an answer. The voice spoke to me again, this time with a more serious and firm tone. You will get your eyes back when I get mine. His form always emanates a soft light, and my heart felt peaceful and warm. I felt overwhelmed with unusual confidence, as if my head were touching the sky. The next morning at 2:20 a.m., I woke up fully refreshed and wide awake. It was unusually early for me, as I usually get up around 6 o'clock. A soft voice urged me to rise, bathe, and attend Mangalarati, early morning worship, which I did after the ceremony was over. The same voice urged me to follow Pankajangri Prabhu from Lord Narasimhadev's altar into the pujari room. I felt very embarrassed and had tears in my eyes. I also felt a kind of unwillingness in my heart to reveal my mind to him. As he was preparing the articles for the Lord's Abhishek, I started to talk to him. Pankajangri Prabhu listened attentively to my story. Then, without saying anything, he smiled and gave me mahasweets from Lord Narasimhadev's plate. The following morning, when my daughter returned from the temple, she was shouting, Mommy, they changed Narasimhadev's eyes. He has beautiful red eyes now. And as the sweet, deep voice had promised, my eyesight was miraculously cured within 3 days. All glories to the merciful and glory Narasimhadev in Sri Mayapur. Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Tirupati Prabhu, Sandini.
Code ra.
Huh?
What is the code?
Huh?
Oh,
86.
Prabhuji, we can hear you, Prabhu. Tirupati Prabhu, we can hear you.
Oh, I have 1 second, Mata. Yeah,
Hare
sorry.
Krishna. Pastime 1. Lord Narasimhadev's pujari had a very startling dream in which the director of the temple called him and told him to bring some diesel oil, saying, "We are going to sacrifice Lord Narasimhadev." "You are going to what?" exclaimed the pujari. "Yes, we are going to sacrifice Lord Narasimhadev." "You can't do that. This is crazy. Just bring the diesel, will you?" "Okay, I will bring the oil, but I don't want anything to do with this. This doesn't make sense." After some time, the pujari returned to the temple and was totally shocked to see that everything had been completely burned by a great fire, and all that remained from the deity was his feet and ankles. Early next morning, he approached the chief pujari and he asked if he could explain the meaning of this terrible nightmare. After thinking a while, he began to smile and said, "Oh yes, you see, yesterday was the start of the Jaladan, the festival of water on Shaligram Shila for 1 month, but we forgot to observe it. Therefore, Lord Narasimhadev is letting you know that he is burning up and that you should immediately begin the Jaladan," which we did. Haribol. Pastime 2. Once, Lord Narasimhadev's worship was going on as usual when the pujari noticed that one flower fell from Lord Narasimhadev's garland. The pujari asked the visitors if anyone was offering any special prayers to Lord Narasimhadev. The visitors in front did not say anything, but from the back, one lady came forward with tears in her eyes. She said, "My daughter got married about 4 or 5 years back, and she has no issue. The people in my son-in-law's house consider it inauspicious. So I was praying to Narasimhadev that he might help her in her desperate situation." Then the pujari said, "Your prayer is granted. The symptom is that the flower fell from Lord Narasimhadev's garland. Please take this and keep it nicely. You can wash this flower and give the water to your daughter to drink." Then the lady left, and later the pujari forgot the incident. After 1 year, the same devotee, along with her daughter, son-in-law, and a newborn baby, began to smile and came to Narasimhadev. She reminded the pujari about the prayer she made 1 year back, as a result of which her daughter gave birth to a very nice baby boy, who they named Prahlad. And once again, they offered a very nice puja to Lord Narasimhadev. Lord Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai.
Pastime 3. One of our Namahatta devotees, Kalyanid Dasi, has 2 daughters. The elder one is Pratibha and the younger one is Anupa. Both of them are married. They have grown-up children. They both live in the same city, Berhampur. Once the husband of Pratibha fell extremely sick and was in a coma, near to death. Along with the other relatives, the younger sister, Anubha, was also in great anxiety about her brother-in-law's situation. She went to the hospital, and as she was a devotee, she prayed to Lord Narasimhadev at ISKCON Mayapur to help her brother-in-law. She came home and went to bed with a heavy heart. At the end of the night, she had a dream in which Lord Narasimhadev came to her and told her, "Don't worry, your brother-in-law is okay." And then her dream broke. In the morning, the news came from the hospital that the patient was doing well, and his saline drip and oxygen had both been removed, and he was now able to talk. Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. There was a fight in a village, and in the course of the fight, one person was attacked with acid, as a result of which his whole face was burnt and terribly disfigured. The sight of one of the eyes was completely lost, and the other eye had only 10% vision. The doctor said that the remaining eye, through which he had 10% vision, would also go blind very soon. They suggested taking the patient to Vellore, South India, for further treatment, to see if they could do something about it. At that time, a devotee who was there suggested that they should pray to Lord Narasimhadev for the recovery of his eyes. As a result, they prayed to Lord Narasimhadev at ISKCON Mayapur. The next day, much to the doctor's surprise, it was found that the patient could see everything very nicely. Rebo. Pastime 5. One Russian lady used to make tulsi garlands for Narasimhadev every day. Being pleased with her, Narasimhadev's pujari gave her one of Lord Narasimhadev's false fingernails as prasad. She took it and kept it with her. That night, she had a dream in which she saw that Lord Narasimhadev had come to her and was sitting on her bed. The Lord then put his fingers with his long nails inside her heart and pulled out something black and said, "You see this? This is not love, it is lust. And there is still more here. What shall I do with it?" She could not reply, and her dream broke. The next day, she went to Lord Narasimhadev and asked him to throw it far away. Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai.
Thank you so much, Sanvi, Sandhini, Aniruddha. We have glorified the Lord. We have spoken about his pastime, so now he's surely here. And now that he's here, we can humbly request him to kindly protect us and everyone we know. So on the screen, we would see the Narasimha Kavacha. Please mute yourselves and sing along.
Narasimha Kavacham Bakshi Praladinudhitam Pura Sarvarikshakaram Punyam Sarvopadravanashanam Sarvasampatkaram Cheva Swargamoksha Pradayakam Dhyatva Narasimha Divisham Hemasimhasanastitam Vivritasyam Trinayanam Sharad Indu Samaprabham Lakshmyalingita Vamangam Vibhuti Birupasritam Chaturbhujam Komalangam Swarnakundala Shobhitam Saroja Shobhito Raskam Ratnakeyura Murditam Tapta Kanchana Sankaksham Pita Nirmala Vasasam Indradi Sura Maulista Spuran Manikya Deeptibi Virajita Padadwandam Shankar Chakradi Hetibi Garutmata Cha Vinaya Stuyamana Mudandita Swarit Kamala Sambhasam Kritva Tu Kavacham Padid Narasimho Me Sirau Patu Loka Rakshatra Sambhava Sarva Gopi Stambhavasa Phala Me Rakshutu Dvaram Narasimho Me Disau Patu Soma Suryagni Lochana Smrita me patu narhari muni varya stuti priya nasa me simhanasa stu mukha lakshmi mukha priya sarva vidyadi papatu narasimho rasanam mama bhaktram patu indu vadanam sada prahlada vandita narasimha patu me kantam skanda bhuvita anantakrit divyastra shobhita bhujam narasimha patu me bhujao karo me deva varadu narasimha patu sarvata Nityam yogi satyasha nivasam patu mim harim madhyam patu hiranyaksha vaksha kukshi vidaranam nabhim me patu narhari swanabhi brahma samsata brahmanda kotaya katyam yasya so patu me katim
गुह्य मे पातु गुह्यानां मन्त्राणां गुह्यरूपदृक् उरुमनो भव पातु जानौनि नररूपदृक् जन्ये पातु दराभारा हृदयौ सौनकेश्वरी सुराराजा प्रदा पातु पादौ मे नरहरिस्वरा सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषा पातु मे सर्वशासनम् महोग्र पूर्वता पातु महावीराग्रजो गृणीता महाविष्णुर्दक्षिणे तु महाज्वालास्तु नैरतो पश्चिमे पातु सर्वेषु दिशि मे सर्वतोमुखा नरसिंह पातु वायाव्यं सौम्यं भूषणविग्रहम् ईशान्यं पातु भाद्रो मे सर्वमङ्गलदायका संसारभयता पातु मृत्युर्मृत्युर्नकेश्वरी इदं नरसिंह कवचं प्रह्लादमुखमण्डितम् भक्तिमाने पठि नित्यं सर्वपापी प्रमुच्यते पुत्रवान् धनवान् लोके दीर्घायुरुपजायते यं यं कामयते कामां तां तां प्राप्नोति संशयम् सर्वत्र जयम् आप्नोति सर्वत्र विजयी भवेत् भूमि अन्तरिक्ष दिव्यानां गृहाणां विनिवारणं भिक्षुकोगरसम्भूता विशापाहरणं परं ब्रह्म राक्षस यक्षाणां दुरोत्सकारणसारणं भुजे वा तालपात्रे वा कवचं लिखितं शुभम् करामूले धृतामेन सिद्ध्ययो कर्म सिद्ध्यया देवासुरा मनुष्येषु स्वं समेव जयं लभेत् एकसन्ध्यं त्रिसन्ध्यं वा य पठे नियतो नरा सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं मुक्तिं च विन्दति द्वात्रिंशति सहस्राणि पठेत् सूदात्मनानृणां कवचस्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धि प्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा वंस्माभिर्मन्त्रणं तिलकं बिभ्रहद्यस्तु तस्य ग्रहभयं हरे त्रिवरं जपमानस्तु दातां भार्याभिमन्त्रय च प्रासेद्यो नरो मन्त्र नारसिंह ध्यानमाचरेत् तस्य रोगः प्रणश्यन्ति ये च स्वयकुक्षि सम्भवा किमत्र बहुनोक्त्वेन नरसिंहः सदृशो भवेत् मनसा चिन्तितं यत्तु तथा चाप्नोत्य संशयं गार्जयन्तं निजभुजपटलं स्फुटयन्तं हठन्तं दीप्यन्तं तापयन्तं दिवि भुवि दितिजं क्षेपयन्तं क्षिपान्तं क्रान्तान्तं रोषयन्तं दिशि दिशि सततं संहरान्तं हरान्तं वीक्षान्तं पूर्णयन्तं करनिकरसते दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्री ब्रह्माण्ड पुराणे प्रह्लादोक्तं श्रीनरसिंह कवचं सम्पूर्णम् उग्रं वीरमहाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोन्मुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् जय नरसिंह श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंह प्रह्लादेश जय पद्मामुख पद्मा भृंग जय श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रह्लाद महाराज की जय. Now we'll have Madhav read the translation, followed by Monica and Vidisha.
Start.
I shall now recite the Narasimha Kavacham, formerly spoken by Prahalada Maharaj. It is the most pious, vanquishes all kinds of impediments and provides one all protection. It bestows upon one all opulences and can give one elevation to the heavenly planets or liberation. One should meditate on Lord Narasimha, Lord of the universe, seated upon a golden throne. His mouth is open wide. He has 3 eyes and he is radiant as the autumn moon. He is embraced by Lakshmi Devi on his left side, and his form is the shelter of all opulences, both material and spiritual. The Lord has 4 arms, and his limbs are very soft. He is decorated with golden earrings. His chest is resplendent like the lotus flower, and his arms are decorated with jewel-studded ornaments. He is dressed in a spotless yellow garment, which exactly resembles molten gold. He is the original cause of existence beyond the mundane sphere, for the great demigods headed by Indra. He appears bedecked with rubies which are blazingly effulgent. His 2 feet are very attractive, and he and he is armed with various weapons, such as the conch, disc, etc. Garuda joyfully offers prayers with great reverence. Having seated Lord Narasimha upon the lotus of one's heart, one should recite the following mantra. May Lord Narasimha, who protects all the planetary systems, protect my head. Although the Lord is all-pervading, he hid himself within a pillar. May he protect my speech and the results of my activities. May Lord Narasimha, whose eyes are the sun and fire, protect my eyes. May Lord NaraHari, who is pleased by the prayers offered by the best sages, protect my memory. May he who has the nose of a lion, protect my nose. And may he whose face is very dear to the goddess of fortune, protect my mouth. May Lord Narasimha, who is the knower of all sciences, protect my sense of taste. May he whose face is beautiful as the full moon and who is offered prayers by Prahalada Maharaj, protect my face. May Lord Narasimha protect my throat. He is the sustainer of the earth and performer of unlimitedly wonderful activities. May he protect my shoulders. His arms are resplendent with transcendental weapons. May he protect my shoulders. May the Lord who bestows benedictions upon the demigods protect my hands. And may he protect me from all sides. May he who is achieved by the perfect yogis protect my heart, and may Lord Hari protect my dwelling place. May he who ripped apart the chest and abdomen of the great demon Hiranyaksha protect my waist, and may Lord NaraHari protect my navel. He has offered prayers by Lord Brahma, who sprang from his own navel. May he on whose hips rest all the universes protect my hips, and may the Lord protect my private parts. He is the knower of all mantras and all mysteries, but he himself is not visible. May he who is the original Cupid protect my things. May he who exhibits a human-like form protect my knees. May the remover of the burden of the earth, who appears in a form which is half man and half lion, protect my calves. May the bestower of heavenly opulence protect my feet. He is the supreme controller in the form of a man and lion combined. May the thousand-headed supreme enjoyer protect my body from all sides in all respects.
All right, well, Monica, you can start.
Personality protect me from the east. May he who is superior to the greatest heroes protect me from the southeast, which is presided over by Agni. May the Supreme Vishnu protect me from the south, and may that person of blazing luster protect me from the southwest. May the Lord of everything protect me from the west. His faces are everywhere, so please may he protect me from this direction. May Lord Narasimha protect me from the northwest, which is predominated by Vayu. And may he whose form is in itself the supreme ornament protect me from the north, where Soma resides. May the all-auspicious Lord, who himself bestows all auspiciousness,
protect from the northeast, the direction of the sun god, and may he who is death personified protect me from fear of death and rotation is in this material world. This Narasimha Kavacha has been ornamented by issuing from the mouth of Prahlad Maharaj. A devotee who reads this becomes freed of all sins. Whatever one desires in this world he can attain without doubt. One can have wealth, many sons, and a long life. He becomes victorious who desires victory, and indeed becomes a conqueror. He wards off the influence of all planets, earthly, heavenly, and everything in between. This this is the supreme remedy for the poisonous effects of serpents and scorpions, and Brahma Raksha ghosts and Yakshas are driven away. One may write this most auspicious prayer on his arm or inscribe it on a palm leaf and attach it to his wrist, and all his activities will become perfect.
Haribol, thank you. Since we'll have the Arati starting at 7:35, the last few translations, I'm sure everybody's super eager to hear this. Vidisha will explain them or share them with us right after the Arati. And as a surprise for the Arati, we can actually see Sisi Nitai Sachinandan. So here goes. Jai Sachin Prabhu will guide us from here. Haribol.
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all. Congratulate the youth and the children for amazing recitation of Lord Narasimha's pastimes and the beautiful bhajans of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the Narasimha Kavach. Thank you very much. So the idea now, assuming technology works, is that we're going to, Narottama Vilas Prabhu is going to allow the Pujari's video to open up where we can hopefully see Shishinatai Satchanandan and have Kirtan. So Narottama Vilas Prabhu, is that available now?
Do you know who, I mean, under whose name?
Yeah. Can you look under, I think he uses Moto something.
No, I don't see any video. The only videos are for the kids. I don't see any video being opened up.
Madhusudan Prabhu, do you know? Can you look under participants? I think
I reached out to him few minutes back. He said he is joining, but I'm trying to call him again, but not able to.
Please bear with us while we're trying to work with technology. We're waiting for the Pujari to open up his video so we can have darshan of Shishinatai Satchanandan. Narottama Vilas Prabhu, you're able to see the participants and see whether that video is opened up?
Yeah, the moment the video comes up, we'll know it too.
Okay.
Meanwhile, if we want, we can wait, but then Vidisha has a couple more translations to read. So if we want, we can hear that, or we can wait.
Prabhuji, do you have a meeting ID and password separately?
This is meeting password to this is meeting ID, which was
the meeting ID?
Yeah, just the meeting ID, just no password.
Maybe Vidisha can say her Kwach. Okay.
Prabhuji, did you say that Vidisha can recite those? I mean, can read those translations?
Sure. Since we're waiting for the Pujaris
Okay.
to open up, so I think she can go ahead. You can go ahead, please.
Yeah. One who regularly chants this prayer, whether once or twice daily, he becomes victorious, whether among demigods, demons, or human beings. One who with purified heart recites this prayer 32,000 times attains the most auspicious of all auspicious things and material enjoyment and liberation are already understood to be available to such a person. This Kavacha mantra is the king of all mantras. One attains by it what could be attained by anointing oneself with ashes and chanting all other mantras. Having marked one's body with tilaka, taking a kamana with water, and reciting this mantra 3 times, one will find that fear of all inauspicious planets is removed. That person who recites this mantra, meditating upon Lord Narasimha has all of his diseases vanquished, including those of the abdomen. Why should more be said? One acquires qualitative oneness with Narasimha himself. There is no doubt that the desires in the mind of one who meditates will be granted. Lord Narasimha roars loudly and causes others to roar. With his multitudes of arms, he tears the demons as under and kills them in this way. He is always seeking out and tormenting the demonic descendants of deity, both on this earth planet and in the higher planet. And he throws them down and scatters them. He cries with great anger as he destroys the demons in all directions. Yet with his unlimited hands, he sustains, protects, and nourishes the cosmic manifestation. I offer my respectful obeisances to the Lord, who has assumed the form of a transcendental lion. Thus ends the Narasimha Kavacha as it is described by Prahlada Maharaja in the Brahmanda Purana.
Hi, Bol. Thank you so much. I hope everyone was able to rejoice and understand that. Please take your time and recite the Narasimha Kavacha every single day if possible. Thank you.
I see a ISKCON Hillsboro. Is that him, Prabhuji? Can you check?
Yes, I do ISKCON feel Hillsboro, bro, but I don't see the video turned on yet.
Video switched off.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hi, Paul.
We can see you, Prabhu. Can you turn on the camera towards the deities? Sudama Pran Prabhu, aap, yes.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভু দেখা যাচ্ছে না
Krishna Prabhuji, maybe Arpana can start singing, and when we see the Lord, we see the Lord.
No, Mataji, I think we are not able to convey the instructions very well to him.
Okay, go ahead, start. We'll start with GauraHari Kirtan. Jai Shishiratai Satchinandan Dev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Krishna Swami Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Madhav Gauranga Prabhu, would you like to please say the Pranam Premadhavani prayers? Madhav Gauranga Prabhu, can you say the Pranam prayers, please?
I think Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paricharya Astotra, His Divine Grace, Avacharna, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON DVD founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajacharya Astotra, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री मायापुर धाम की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुर क्षेत्र धाम की जय, गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय, शाम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Madhav Gauranga Prabhu. Now we'll have Nrsingadev prayer. Madhav Prabhu will chant the Nrsingadev prayers, and Namavata Prabhu will do the Artik of Lord Nrsinga Lakshmi Narasimha in our temple. Madhusudan Prabhu, is Sudama Pran Prabhu ready to show that?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Narottam Vilas Prabhu, can you transfer to Sudama Pran Prabhu's video, maybe? Please? Yes. Madhav Prabhu, I think you can start. Madhusudan Prabhu is there. Where to let Namata Prabhu know to go ahead and proceed with the Artik?
I don't see the other Prabhu on the call.
Who? Madhav Prabhu is not on the call?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Okay.
सुदामा प्राण प्रभु नाम अवतार प्रभु को बोलिए कि वो आरती शुरू करें भगवान की.
Okay. If Tulsi, would you like to proceed with chanting the Nrsingadev prayer since Madhav Prabhu is not available? You may want to also mute the other phones in your home. Okay, so there's not echo, otherwise echo was coming.
Let's see. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Does it echo right now?
Okay.
Yes, it's echoing.
I don't know if that's the cause of it or not. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladayine.
Praladayine.
Hiranyakashi Purakshaha.
Hiranyakashe Purvakshaha.
Shilakankanakalaye.
Shilakankanakalaye.
Ito nisimho parato nisimho.
Ito nashimo parato nashimo.
Yato yato yami tato nisimho.
Yato yato yami tato nashimo.
Bahe simho rudaye nisimho.
Bhair Narasimha Rudaye Narasimha
Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapate
Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prabhade
Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanovinga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringa Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanovinga Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev
Jaya NaraHari Jaya NaraHari NaraHari Jaya NaraHari
Jaya NaraHari Jaya NaraHari Jaya NaraHari Jaya NaraHari
Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad
Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev
Shri Shri Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Shrimani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
So now, thank you very much, Tulsi and family. Sorry, Madhav Hari Prabhu, I think your connection got lost for some reason. So now we'll have the wonderful opportunity to hear Narasimha Dev Bhagwan Katha, and Damodar Leela Mataji will be speaking on Lord Narasimha Dev pastime. So we can take darshan of the Lord because they will likely go to sleep, rest soon. Shishinatai Sachinandan Dev ki jai. Jai Lord Nityananda ki Jai. Feeble. Ranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shishinitai Sachinandan Dev ki Jai. So it'd be wonderful if we can all pray to the lotus feet of Shishinitai Sachinandan, Srila Prabhupada, that somehow or other situation will improve where we can directly go to the temple and serve like you all have been doing for so many years and reciprocate with their mercy. Arthamaralas Prabhu, is there a way to also show Damodar Leela Mataji while she's speaking? And then is it possible in the corner to have Sachinandan or no?
No, bro, that won't be possible directly from Zoom, Prabhuji. I wish I could do that.
Next iteration. Okay.
Yeah, bro, sure, yeah.
Without further ado, let's thank you so much, Mataji, for your patience. I know you were supposed to start at 8. So let's all welcome the lecture with a loud Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you.
I request the blessing of all the assembled devotees so that I can say something useful to glorify the Lord. It was very emotional to see Shri Shnitai Sachinandan and after such a long time and attend their Arati virtually, but still, you know, we were almost there. We were all of us almost together. I could see devotees dancing, the young kids, and it was a very emotional time, I'm sure, for most of us to relive those wonderful moments. We used to take it for granted that we could go every Sunday to the temple and on every festival and chant and dance together. But it's so rare now. Thank you to all the devotees who were involved in making this happen. Thank you so much. It was a very nice experience. So today is the most auspicious day of the appearance of Lord Krishna in the form of Lord Narasimha Dev. Krishna has unlimited incarnations, but this particular form of the Lord is very wonderful, and it is the main mood of this form is to give protection to his devotees. And the Lord Narasimha Dev specially appeared to protect his very wonderful devotee Prahlad. So today we'll try to go through some verses in Bhagavatam which contain the very beautiful prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. But before we start, let's chant the Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the mercy, the blessings of our previous acharyas. So all of you know it. We can recite together. I'll be reading it out, and please, you also recite along with me. You can remain muted, I think, for the echo problem, but let's just do it together. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमाप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते ताप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे and since we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, let's also chant the invocation prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam, and please chant along with me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatom Jaya Udiraye Shrinvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastho Hiya Bhadrani Vidhunoti Suratsatam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So we'll be reading from the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, which are in Canto 7, Chapter 9 of Bhagavatam. But before we go to the prayers, we'll just do a very quick setting the scene as to why Prahlad Maharaj is offering those prayers, although all the devotees know, but it's always wonderful to hear about the pastime again. So I'll do it very briefly. So Hiranyakashipu, who was a very big terrorist demon, who had terrorized the entire universe on the strength of the boons that he had received from Lord Brahma, he had a very wonderful devotee son, Prahlad, and Prahlad was instructed by Narad Muni when he was in the womb of his mother Kayadhu. He was in the womb of his mother for many years because Kayadhu had asked Narad Muni to remain pregnant till her husband returned from the austerities. So he had a pretty long time in the womb when he heard Krishna Katha from Narad Muni in the womb. So when Hiranyakashipu came back, then Prahlad went back to the palace and he was staying with his parents, but his mind was totally absorbed in Lord Vishnu. And when he went to the Gurukul, he started teaching about Lord Vishnu to all his classmates. And all those the sons of the demons also started learning about Lord Vishnu. When the teachers came to know about this, they went and complained to Hiranyakashipu. So it had already happened in the past, but in the setting the scene, like just before Lord Narasimha appeared, the teachers once again went to Hiranyakashipu to complain that your son has been teaching about Lord Vishnu to all the classmates. And Hiranyakashipu just totally, now he was provoked beyond boundaries, and he called his son Prahlad and he said very ill words. You impudent, you know, all kinds of ill words he was telling to Prahlad. And then he asked Prahlad that, I have tried to kill you so many times. Hiranyakashipu was such a terrorist that he did not even spare his own son, a little 5-year-old tender son, and he tried to kill him in very torturous ways. But Prahlad was saved by the grace of his Lord Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu is really angry and he asks Prahlad, from where are you getting this power? What's the source of your power? How come you have not died? I have tried so many times to kill you. And Prahlad tries to guide his father and he says, Father, I'm getting the source of my strength is the same as the source of your strength. And it is also the source of the strength of your source of strength, which is Lord Brahma, because Lord Brahma had given him all these powers. And this was just too much for Hiranyakashipu to digest, and because he considered Lord Vishnu as his greatest enemy, that his son is glorifying Vishnu, and he's saying that the source of my power, Hiranyakashipu's power, is also Vishnu. This was just too much. And he was now ready to kill his son Prahlad. And before that, he asked, where is your God? Is he? And Prahlad said that he's everywhere. That's what Prahlad used to teach his schoolmates, that Lord Vishnu is everywhere. And Prahlad said, and Hiranyakashipu asked, if your God is everywhere, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad said, yes, he is in this pillar. And he wanted to, Hiranyakashipu took his sword and hit at the pillar, and out came the Supreme Lord in the form of Narasimha, half man, half lion, or how the way Shukadev Goswami says in verse 7.8.17, he was neither man nor namrigam na manushim, neither lion, neither human. So he comes out in that most wonderful form and he slays Hiranyakashipu. And the Lord is very angry. Lord is in a very, very angry mood. So Lord Brahma tries to pacify the Lord. All the demigods, even Lord Shiva tries to pacify. He offers beautiful prayers in Lord Indra, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, all rishis. Many people, many devotees offer very beautiful, eloquent prayers, but Lord is not pacified. He is still very angry. In this particular Leela, he wanted to glorify Prahlad. So even Mother Lakshmi was not able to pacify the Lord, who is the eternal consort, but even she said, no, I'm afraid. I have not seen this form before. It was an Adbhut form for her. And then Lord Brahma requested Prahlad to go forward and try to pacify the Lord. So this 5-year-old boy went ahead and he just prostrated. He fell down flat on the ground and offered his obeisances to the Lord. And the Lord, although he was so angry, he was roaring like a lion, but when he saw Prahlad in front of him, he became like a cat. He was purring like a cat, and he kept his hand on the head of Prahlad, something which is very rare. Prahlad, it's one of the prayers of Prahlad that you have put your hand on my head, which is not achievable by even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Mother Lakshmi. So Prahlad was so fortunate that the Lord kept his hand on his head. Then Prahlad started offering the prayers, which we are going to read very soon. I wanted to just touch upon that verse which I mentioned before we start the prayers, which is verse number 7.8.17, which explains or which tells why the Lord appeared. So we know, we just heard the story that Lord appeared to protect his devotee Prahlad. So just yeah, that verse. I hope devotees are able to see that. So I'm going to recite that. You can recite along with me, and we'll discuss, just try to learn some of the key points from this verse. So why does Lord appear? That's what is being answered in this verse. Satyam vidhatum nijabhratya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshvakhileshu chatmanaha adrashya iti adbhuta rupa samudvam stambhe sabhayam namragam namanusham. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. So here, the Lord, the characteristic of the Lord is coming out as to why he appeared. He appeared because Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. He wanted to uphold the words of his devotee. And in one Leela, Lord kept the words of not just Prahlad Maharaj, but two other devotees by doing this Leela. So one was Prahlad Maharaj, because Prahlad Maharaj, he used to tell, he was teaching his classmates that Krishna is everywhere. We'll go to that verse very soon. Or maybe we can show that right now. It's 7.7.55 chapter. Yeah. So this particular verse is what is mentioned in Bhagavatam when Prahlad Maharaj was teaching his classmates about Lord Krishna. And the verse says, Etavaneva lokesmin pumsa swartha parha smritaha ekanta bhaktir govinde yat sarvatra tadikshanam. In this material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life, as explained by all the revealed scriptures. So the main point here is that Ekanta Bhaktir Govinde, unalloyed service to the lotus feet of Govinda, of lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and to see him everywhere. So Prahlad Maharaj had that pure vision where he could see Krishna everywhere. When he pointed to that pillar, that Krishna, when Hiranyakashipu asked him whether your God is in this pillar, and when Prahlad Maharaj said yes, he actually meant it. I mean, it was not that he didn't think, or Lord Narsimha did not just appear in that pillar just for that moment to do this Leela. Prahlad's vision is that Krishna is everywhere all the time. That is what he was teaching his friends. And those are the words of his pure devotees that Krishna wanted to uphold, that Krishna is everywhere. So we'll come back to the previous one, 7.8.17. The reasons for the Lord appearance. So Lord Krishna, in the form of Lord Narasimha, wanted to uphold the words of his devotee Prahlad, that when Prahlad used to teach that Krishna is everywhere. And then he also upheld the words of his other devotee, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma had given those boons to Hiranyakashipu, that long list which Hiranyakashipu had prepared to get immunity. He thought immunity from death. He thought he had covered himself fully, got all kinds of insurances, but Krishna couldn't trick Krishna. Krishna tricked him. So Lord Narasimha upheld the words of his devotee Brahma. And then he also upheld the words of his devotee Narad Muni. When Lord Indra was trying to take Kayadhu away, assuming that the child in her womb is also going to be another Hiranyakashipu, at that time Narad Muni had stopped him and said that you cannot kill this. She's carrying a devotee in her womb and he cannot be killed. So even he wanted to uphold the words of Narad Muni. So by just doing one Leela, Krishna upheld the words of all his devotees. And then he also wanted to establish that he is Sarvatra. Where is that written? Vyaptin. That he is everywhere, the Supreme Personality, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall. So he wanted to establish the all-pervasiveness of himself in front of everyone. Yeah, so what we can learn from this is about the vision of Prahlad Maharaj, of pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, who are able to see Krishna everywhere. People like me, and many of us, are we really able to see Krishna in a pillar? Are we able to see Krishna in our phone or in any of inanimate objects? You know, it's a theory that all of us know, but really, do we have that strong conviction that Krishna is everywhere? I don't have that right now. I mean, I know it as a theory, but really, if I want to see that this, this book or whatever, is it Krishna in his full form? I don't know if I'll be able to say that with full conviction that, yeah, I believe that, but we can look up, I know that I can look up to those devotees, and maybe someday in some lifetime, I can also have that conviction if I keep on this path by the Lord's mercy, that I'm able to have that conviction that Krishna is indeed everywhere, everywhere. So this is the setting the scene about how we reach the place where Prahlad Maharaj is now offering prayers to Lord Narasimha. So we'll go to now chapter 9 of Canto 7. It is titled Prahlad Pacifies the Lord with Prayers, and there are from verse number 8 up to verse number 50 are the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. And we're going to start from the first few verses. We're going to take up first few verses and see how far we can go till the time permits. And just for the first verse, we're going to read the verse and the translation and purport. And for the remaining verses, I'm thinking I'll just do the translation and we can discuss the key points, the key learnings from those verses. Hope that's fine. So we'll start with text number 8. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Brahmadaya Suraganaman Munayo I can't read here. Brahmadaya Suragana Munayotha Siddha Satvaikatana Gatayo Vachasam Pravahe Naradhitum Purugune Rudunapi Pipru Kim Toshtumarhati Same Harirugrajate. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj prayed, "How is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness. Then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified." Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. A Vaishnava who is fully qualified to serve the Lord still thinks himself extremely low while offering prayers to the Lord. For example, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says, "Jagai madai haite muni se papishtha, puri shera kita haite muni se laghishta." In Adi Leela, chapter 5, verse 205. Thus he considers himself unqualified, lower than the worms in stool, and more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. A pure Vaishnava actually thinks of himself in this way. Similarly, although Prahlad Maharaj was a pure exalted Vaishnava, he thought himself most unqualified to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. Mahajano yena gata sa panthai. Every pure Vaishnava should think like this. One should not be falsely proud of his Vaishnava qualifications. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore instructed us, Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Unless one is meek and humble, to make progress in spiritual life is very difficult. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, this particular verse is showing us the mood of Prahlad Maharaj, that he was extremely humble and submissive. As we just read that in the story, like what has happened so far, great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra have tried to offer beautiful prayers. What's written here, Vachase Pravahe, Vachasam Pravahe, very beautiful, eloquent prayers they have offered. And they are great devotees, they are in the mode of goodness. But still, the Lord has not been pacified. Then Prahlad is thinking, who am I? I am born in an Asuric family. Look at my material qualifications. I am born in the most fallen kind of family. How can I please the Lord? But before that, we saw that when all those personalities were offering prayers, Lord Narasimha was not pacified. But when Prahlad fell down in front of him, he became pacified. He put his hand on his head and all his anger went away. So, I mean, everybody has seen this happen, that Prahlad was able to satisfy the Lord, but Prahlad is not able to, he's so wonderstruck. He's not able to think, or he's not at all thinking that because of him this happened. He's not here to take any glory, even though everybody can see, and he can also see that after he did that, Lord became, his anger went away. But Prahlad Maharaj's mood is so humble. He, as we read in the purport, he is the embodiment of that mood of humility, wherein he doesn't think that he is the doer, or look at me, because of me, I was able to pacify the Lord. These people were not able to. That's far from it. He is totally he's thinking like, how could this happen? His mood is like of wonder. He's awestruck. Krishna, how could this happen? And we can see a parallel to this in the life of Srila Prabhupada, another great, wonderful devotee who we have the fortune of associating through his books, and many senior devotees, are still on the planet who are direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and they have seen that devotee, like Prabhupada did wonders, like the way Prahlad Maharaj was able to appease the Lord in a super angry mood when nobody else could. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada was able to bring Krishna consciousness to America, and give it to very, very fallen people. And the things that Srila Prabhupada has done are still, if I think of it, I think it's not possible. But he did it. He, at an advanced age, everything against him, but he was able to spread Krishna consciousness all throughout the world. He, we all know, like, how many books he wrote, how many times he traveled around the globe, how many temples he made, how many disciples he made. He just created everything, and he was also in the similar mood. He was wonderstruck. Krishna, Krishna, you are doing this. He never thought that I'm the doer. You see, look at me. I'm the one who did all these things. So he also was showing us the mood of Prahlad Maharaj, wherein Prahlad Maharaj is not at all he's not at all looking for any glorification, any appreciation for what he has just done. And he's in a state of wonder. So moving on from here, there are the next two verses, the next two prayers of Prahlad Maharaj are in the gist of those two prayers is that Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying bhakti, the devotional process. So when he started off, first thing he's saying that I'm not at all qualified, and he's in this wonder mode. Like, how is it possible? I am the most unqualified person. And then in his next two prayers, he is saying that bhakti can do anything. No material qualification is required to appease the Lord. It's just bhakti. So he is glorifying bhakti in the next two verses. That when bhakti is present, anything can happen. Whether, in his own case, when he being a son of an asura was able to appease the Lord. And he gives two more examples that when bhakti is present, everything gets inverted, like the normal rules do not apply. So let's try to read. We have time, right? So let's try to read the next two verses. I'm just going to go through the translations for the sake of time and see what we can understand from these two verses. So Prahlad Maharaj says in verse number 9. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yoga power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. So he gave an example of Gajendra that, and before that he listed down a lot of material qualifications, and he said, Lord does not care for all those material qualifications. Gajendra, who was, he was in a body of an animal. Normally we think that human beings are more intelligent than animals, right? Animals are unfortunate that they don't have that intelligence that they can inquire about themselves, why we're here, and how to offer praise. Yeah, that's not possible at all. But with the element of bhakti, Gajendra was able to satisfy the Lord. He was able to offer beautiful prayers and satisfy the Lord. So when bhakti is present, everything can happen. Just by material qualifications, nothing. And then the next verse is also linked to the same similar concept. So let's read that as well. Verse number 10. If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahminical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth and life, to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana in a position of false prestige cannot purify even himself. So in this prayer, Prahlad Maharaj is contrasting. He's giving a generic example. He's not giving specific names, but he's giving an example that if there is a Brahmana who has all the Brahminical qualities, but he's not a devotee, he will not get the mercy of the Lord, but a devotee who could be a dog eater is more dear to the Lord. And that devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the Brahmana cannot even purify himself. So it's again the glory of bhakti, which was able to just totally change the equation. Normally you would think that a Brahmana, as per the social order of life, the Brahmana would be better than a dog eater. But if bhakti is absent, the scale just tips over. Everything inverts. And so Prahlad Maharaj is giving these examples of Gajendra in the previous one, and here this general example. But Bhagavatam has several such examples where, because of the presence of bhakti, everything just was inverted. Whatever you would think normally possible was not there. It was just the opposite. So just to give some examples, we have the story of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, wherein Ambarish Maharaj was a king and Durvasa Muni was a sannyasi. But as I won't go into the story, but most of us know that Durvasa Muni succumbed to the anger, and he ultimately had to come and beg for forgiveness from the king. So a sannyasi was asking for forgiveness from a king. Why? Because the king was a devotee and he exhibited, devotional qualities. So with the presence of bhakti, the hierarchy got changed. Similarly, we have the example of Vritrasur and Indra. Vritrasur was a demon, and Indra is a devata, a demigod. And normally you would think that devatas are better than demons. But Vritrasur turned out to be a more exalted devotee, and Bhagavatam praises Vritrasur in that episode. Similarly, in the 10th canto, we have the story of Brahmana's wives, wherein Brahmana's wives were better devotees. They offered the bhoga to the hungry cowherd boys to give to Krishna and Balram. So normally you would but the social hierarchy is that husband is superior to the wife, or husband is a guru of the wife. But in this particular example, it got inverted. The Brahmanas ultimately considered their wives as their gurus because of the bhakti. In the case of Prahlad himself, like we are reading the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, in two ways his hierarchy has been inverted because of bhakti. So in one way you can see that Prahlad is a 5-year-old boy. You would think a 5-year-old child should listen to his parents, right? That's what we want our kids to learn. But in his case, his father was a demon and Prahlad was a devotee, so he did not. It was right that he did not listen to his father because of bhakti, and we know the whole story, what happened. And also from another angle, Prahlad was a demon. He was born in the family of demons, whereas the devatas, like the example that we just, the story that we heard, that the devatas like Indra and Lord Brahma were not able to satisfy the Lord, but Prahlad was able to do because of the element of bhakti. And one more example is that of gopis, who are cowherd women, but are considered to be the greatest devotees of the Lord. So Bhagavatam gives us those examples to prove that when bhakti is present, all the the other social or social customs or conventional hierarchies do not apply. And that's the point that Prahlad Maharaj is trying to bring. When he started off with the prayers, first he said that I'm not qualified at all because I'm born in a family of asuras. And then he says, okay, this is the bhakti can do anything. Because of bhakti, the Lord is pleased. So he's shifting the focus from himself to bhakti, that bhakti can do anything. But then you see here, if he says this, one may think, okay, so maybe he's trying to say that he has bhakti, but did those devatas not have bhakti? That's why they were not able to appease the Lord. So just to avoid that, that thought to be entertained by anyone, immediately in the next verse, Prahlad Maharaj brings out the point that Lord does not need anything. The Lord is self-satisfied. He does not need even bhakti from anyone. He does not want glorification. So it's not that when I'm glorifying the Lord, that's why Lord is pleased at me. It's not like a business deal. It's not like that, but it's the nature of the Lord that he is so merciful and he does not require anything from anyone. And that's why this has happened. So from the first verse when he started, from when he's saying that material qualifications, I do not have any material qualifications, then he puts the glory on the bhakti process, that with bhakti anything can happen. And then we'll read this verse number 11. I think I'll stop after that, this verse, because we're going beyond the time. No, not verse 10, verse 11. Yeah. So Prahlad Maharaj says, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. So beautiful verse, beautiful prayer by Prahlad Maharaj. And the Sanskrit word which he uses is Nija Labha Purno. He calls the Lord that he is self-satisfied. Nija Labha Purno in the first line. He doesn't need any glorification. And to contrast it with his own father, Hiranyakashipu, in the story, when how Hiranyakashipu got mad when Prahlad said that your source of power is the same, or my source of power, like Prahlad's source of power is same as the source of power for Hiranyakashipu. When he heard that, he was like just mad with anger. How dare you? How could you say that I'm deriving my power from Vishnu? This was just too much for him. So Hiranyakashipu is totally not Nijalabha Purno. He wants glorification. He wants respect. He was demanding respect from his own son. And when he did not receive it, he was all furious. So, what Prahlad Maharaj is saying is that Krishna does not want anything from us. And he's also saying that whatever the devotee offers to the Lord is for the benefit of the devotee himself. It's not that, I'm offering bhoga to the Lord, I'm doing a great service for the Lord, or Krishna is going to benefit. It is for my own benefit, whatever service. So the learning for us is that whatever service Krishna allows us to do, whatever service we are able to do for the Lord, we should think of it as a mercy of the Lord, that the Lord is allowing us to serve him. Lord does not need anything. He is Nijalabha Purno. He is self-satisfied, and the benefit is all ours in this process. It's 9 o'clock. I had prepared a little bit more, and I'll quickly share that, maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. The prayers are just so beautiful and have so much learnings for us. But just one set which I don't want to leave out here is verses 15 and 16. I'm not going to read the translation, but just going to tell you the gist, where Prahlad Maharaj describes that the form of Lord Narasimha Dev, he's wearing the garland of intestines and blood everywhere, long nails, and with just the tips of his nails, he was able to kill all the demon army of Hiranyakashipu, and he's in a very fierce mood, and everybody is so afraid of the Lord. But Prahlad says that I'm not afraid of this fearful form of yours, O Lord. In fact, he was able to see beyond that form, and he was able to see the love of the Lord. And he contrasts it with the next verse, wherein he says, I'm afraid of this conditioning of material world. I'm born in an Asuric family, and I might forget you because of the bad association. So those are like such beautiful prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, wherein he says, I'm not afraid of this fearful form. Like for a normal person or a non-devotee, or they were just so afraid to see that form, and Prahlad was getting attracted to that form of the Lord. It was like a tiger or a lioness who is so fierce for its prey, like a deer or a hunter, but she's embodiment of motherly love for her small cubs. So something like that. Prahlad was able to feel the love of the Lord like a cub, and not like he was not looking at the Lord like a fierce animal or fierce predator. But he's comparing that I'm so afraid of this material existence because it has that possibility for me to get away from you, to get aversion from the Lord. So for us, we can learn that, and he requests the Lord to always keep him in his shelter. So we can probably stop here, and let us all try to remember Lord Narasimhadev and always pray that he keeps us under his shelter. That is our only refuge. Nothing in this world can save us except the lotus feet, the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj, through his beautiful prayers, has given us a lot of nectar. I invite all of you to read and reread and read it for the 100th time. And they're so beautiful and full of learnings for us. I'll stop here. It's 9:05. Sorry for going 5 minutes over. And if there are any corrections, any comments, any questions, any realizations, devotees kindly share. And thank you so much for tolerating me. I beg for forgiveness if I have made any mistakes. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Damodar Leela Mataji ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. So wonderful. We're not at the temple, but we've heard wonderful pastimes by the youth. We went all the way, in age, from young to old. A lot of nice appreciation of Lord Narasimhadev and of his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Unfortunately, the only thing we're missing is Krishna Keshav Prabhu's wonderful Krishna. So we all get in a van and go there, but knowing him, he'll welcome everybody. So thank you very much. This was very wonderful, that even though it's online, something like 59 families joined. That's pretty wonderful. And we were able to almost have a full program. So thank you all for participating. Mataji, sorry that due to technical glitches, your wonderful lecture and recitation of Srila Prabhupada's instructions and how to apply it in our lives got cut short.
No, Prabhuji, not at all. The darshan was so beautiful. I was just, it was very emotional and very nice experience to get darshan of the Lord and to sing along with all the devotees. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. So before we all go home, I just want to read something. It was written by Kalakanta Prabhu about an amazing devotee by the name of Jayananda Thakur, whose disappearance celebration was yesterday. And it's just 2 paragraphs. And his glories are inestimable. Srila Prabhupada loved him like a son. Srila Prabhupada cried when he left the planet. And he's the only devotee that Srila Prabhupada said has most likely gone back to the spiritual world. So here's what is said. He was instructing a devotee, Karandar Prabhu, that if all the processes of Krishna consciousness, Jayananda was most attached to preaching, whether it was during Sunday feast, while making incense runs, meaning going out and selling incense, or while building Rath Yatra carts, Jayananda was always trying to find some person with whom he could share his ecstasy in Krishna consciousness. His preaching was very simple and easy to listen to. He said, we just have to keep chanting and have faith in the name. We just have to chant and take prasadam. Srila Prabhupada is so kind to give us such a simple process. Karandara remembers how Jayananda preached to him on his first day in the temple as they worked together preparing a little garden for Srila Prabhupada in the old Los Angeles temple. Jayananda said, things don't always go just right in Krishna consciousness. Things don't always go just right in Krishna consciousness. You have to keep chanting. At that time, Karandara couldn't imagine how anything could go wrong in Krishna's service. Years later, however, as he found himself still remembering those words, Karandara could appreciate the real potency of what Jayananda had said. So many things may come and go. Just have faith in the name. And so Jayananda's preaching was very attractive for everyone. Jayananda Thakur ki jai. Please read about him. He's an amazing, amazing devotee. And many elevated sannyasis from that time say he was the most advanced devotee in the world. That's saying a lot in the 1970s and even now. So all glories to Jayananda Thakur and his amazing service of Srila Prabhupada. So Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripo Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavane.
Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Also want to thank Narasimha Vilas Prabhu and Premrupa Madhavi Mataji for helping hosting this session and the Zoom meetings. They're doing wonderful service. And of course, the pujaris who are continuing to serve the Lord continuously. Our gratitude goes to them. Thank you, and we'll meet again for Sunday feast lecture and Bhagavatam lecture on Sunday. Please come join. Zoom meetings have been wonderful in that sense that whereas normally there was just one devotee chanting and one devotee hearing, now there are quite a few devotees listening to Bhagavatam, which has so much potency. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Good night.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol Prabhuji. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.